Hi everybody, Jared here with Day Traders FX. I wanted to just share a quick video slash market analysis that I think is getting pretty interesting, and it has to do with the US dollar versus the Canadian dollar, and I think it's going to be a pretty interesting slash fantastic long-term trade in the works. Remember, you can always stop by Day Traders FX, get a little free trial set up with our trade group, see how we trade some of this stuff, see what we do, and how it all works out. This is what I'm looking at on dollar CAD. Just generally speaking, remember that we have got some fairly decent US dollar strength. We have interest rate news coming up in just next week. It's not too far out now, where we're going to hear if the U.S. is going to raise rates or not. There's enough uncertainty that if the U.S. does raise rates, I think it's going to be very bullish for the U.S. dollar. Sometimes these things get so priced in that it literally does nothing for a currency when rates are raised or cut. I think this is going to be enough to really keep the U.S. dollar on track if they raise rates, because again, I think there's enough uncertainty that they could try to push it out, but I think people are mostly 90% expecting a rate hike, but that 10% is still strong enough that if there is a rate hike, I think we'll still see a pretty nice move towards strength on the U.S. dollar. That's number one. Number two, the Canadian dollar tends to follow oil fairly closely. You can see oil currently right here just dropping like a rock. Right now we see we're $37. Give or take, that's moving around a little bit, but it's definitely been making a pretty big move to the downside, oil. And there's a lot of talk about, are we going to see $25 oil? Are we going to see $20 oil? We'll see, but there's a pretty strong trend here. This goes all the way back to the highs of June of about a year. This goes about a year and a half back, where we saw those highs in the mid 90s, about $94, and then we've just seen this steady drop down into the 50s, some consolidation, and then we're just continuing on with this trend. There's kind of a long ways to go before we hit any major support, and there's a long ways to go before we even hit the bottom of this channel. So it really makes that $20 oil seem like it could be a possibility. So that's why I love this dollar CAD. I think this is such an excellent trade. I think we're going to see US dollar strength, and I think we're going to see Canadian dollar weakness. And this is a weekly chart. This is a big weekly channel we're in with the dollar Canadian here. And we had this high of September that struggled. We had this little double top right here, and the pair struggled to break above this, but it did. It broke above 134.40, which was our high, and I think that there's no stopping the dollar CAD until 140. I think the dollar CAD is going to make its way into 140 because that's our next major level. It's a nice rounded off number. There's plenty of momentum to believe that we can make a run to 140 on the dollar CAD. So I like that. That takes us back into the highs of about 2004 or 5. And so all I'm looking for basically at this point is some retests. I'd like to see us get back down to 13500, maybe even below 13500, to start scaling into this. I'm going to put a series of small positions on and just buy this thing, buy these dips constantly, and just build a nice army of buy trades on the dollar CAD. Every time this thing dips, I'm just going to keep adding to it and just trade this up, looking for that 140 to get hit. Now, of course, if things go haywire with the U.S. news, that's going to be a factor we'll have to take into account next week. But at this point, this is exactly what I'm looking to do, and I think there's going to be a really great long-term opportunity to trade the dollar CAD up 400 to 500 pips over the next several weeks. So that's what I'm looking for. Hope it works out well for everybody. Good luck, and we'll see you soon. Thanks, everyone.